Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but you have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason, this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, Grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now, you can also share a cart with Instacart's Family Carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or who should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
We can never be normal.
No, we can't. Who wants to be normal though? Fuck it, man.
That's true, dog.
Ain't no fun in normal.
Testicles, 1, 2. Testicles. Welcome back to Paranoid Radio Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am your humble host, Trebles Garcia. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget that the most important thing that you could do for the show is word of mouth. Check us out at ParanoidRadio.com. We have an official affiliation with Flavors of the Forest. Guys, do not forget to season your meat before you eat. Made with all original and natural flavors. Handpicked and created in the beautiful state of Oregon. Shipped out to the motherfucking world. Great spices, raw garlic. And make sure you have Bigfoot breath for the season to kill all those vampires that are trying to suck you dry from your energy. Make sure you check us out and get 15% off using Paranoid at the checkout at Flavors of the Forest. You can find it at ParanoidRadio.com. Don't forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. You guys are also content creators, guys. I don't want to keep promoting. I hate promoting, guys. But I'm trying to make some money. Hey, help me out here. If you guys are doing editing on videos, go to Opus Clips on the link on ParanoidRadio.com, and that will show you and give you not only free access for about 150 credits, which means 150 minutes, and it sets it up with AI, B-roll, and everything. Dude, check it out at ParanoidRadio.com.
Dope.
Woo!
Dope.
That promotion's got to get shorter. I don't get the idea of having to promote every single episode. It's not me. But, you know, eventually we want to grow. We want to grow. We got to make something. And then all that money, it's not like I'm keeping it from my pocket, guys. I'm still driving my 2015 Mitsubishi, bro. All right, guys, I still have an old car. I'm not making any money out of the show. I'm putting it back into the show so that you guys can continue getting beautiful content and great special guests. Talking about great special guests, allow me to jump in from the deep end of the pool and set the mood. Striking with iron is hot. Please give a warm welcome to my deep state correspondent. You thought it was over, but it's not. It's still here. We're dropping bombs. Patriot, business owner, family man, Flash for Flash_News1. What's up, Flash?
What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon. Beautiful day in New York. Let's fucking get it.
All right. We have a lot of conversation to go through, and let me put my notes. I'm always ill-prepared. I get too comfortable here. But we have some notes. Bro, the first thing you got to touch on in this world is people forget about this. And people are misinformed. Even people in our movement are misinformed about this next topic. Let's give them a little bit about Q, bro. What's up with Q?
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's jump right into it, bro. So, Q gets a lot of bad publicity, I feel like. And it's interesting because a lot of the people that call themselves truthers just take the mainstream media's narrative of what Q is. Right.
No difference between them and the mainstream media, if you ask me.
Right. And I mean, I thought our whole movement was about challenging the narrative and not trusting what the mainstream media says. But all of a sudden, when it comes to Q, people jump on the mainstream media narrative. And that's because the mainstream media spent so much time trying to discredit it. And what does that tell you? The media only does that when something is true. right? They
Word.
don't spend their time dismantling or trying to compare it to, oh, they said it was Russian special agents or something. Anytime you hear that, you know it's they're trying to cover something up. So, really what Q was and is in 2017, there's a anonymous board where you can post on. It's called 4chan. You go on there, you can check it out. There's just anonymous people posting on there all day. So back in 2017, this person or group of people, no one really knows still who it is, or it was a small group of people doing it. And he started posting on 4chan. And at first it sounded crazy stuff. Like it was talking about Hillary Clinton being arrested on this date at this time. And, it kept signing itself Q, Q, Q. And then people started engaging, like asking the person questions, like blah, blah, blah. And then long story short, this went on for about 3.5 years, all during Trump's presidency, his first term, right? But really what it was it's a military information campaign, right? It's a psyop. It is a psyop, right? But there are white hat psyops, there's black hat psyops, there's psyops that are this, there's psyops that are that. Just because something is a psyop doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, right? Because at that time, what Q really was doing was subverting the mainstream media's narrative, specifically about the Russia collusion hoax, because at that time, that's when it was running rampant. Even I thought Trump was a fucking Russian spy. That shit was everywhere on CNN. So at some point, the Trump team got together and said, listen, we need to find a way to reach the American people through the internet, away from the mainstream media's narrative, right? And it was really hard because not everybody was on 4chan. It took a little bit while to really start picking up popularity. But in the drops, it wasn't just talking about Russia collusion. It was talking about the Obama administration, how Obama was connected to the Muslim Brotherhood, and how all of this stuff, right? It was like every conspiracy theory all put together and then given to the people in a very succinct, compact, easily to understand way. And really what Q did was ask questions. That's all he really did. And it was up to us and the other anons to go find the answers. Right. So what he did is just started getting people digging, right? Started getting people asking questions. What's this going on? What's
like
this
a spark of research.
Exactly, bro. And all of the phrases that we use, the Great Awakening, that's Q. Nothing can stop what's coming, that's Q. Future proofs past, that's Q. All of these things that Q said back then didn't make a lot of sense because we didn't have the information that we have now. And that's what future proofs past means, because Q knew that it was hard to prove what he was saying now, but he was saying, just wait. Because in the future, it's going to prove everything I said in the past. And now we sit here today with exactly 53 senators. It's exactly what Q said we would have. Okay, he said we would win 53 to 47. Now he's even predicting Trump's future cabinet picks, right? Even in the drops back then. But it didn't make sense back then. We were like, what are you talking about? We all thought it was for 2020. So that's why when 2020 didn't go our way, everyone was like, oh, Q is fake. He fucking lied to you guys. Q never put dates. He never said when this was going to happen. He said, this is the plan. But he did say it's an 8-year plan. So it started in 2007. 8 years would be right now. So this is the plan, right? And everyone said, oh, you trust the plan? Because I guess back in the day, there was a Russian psyop that said, plan
trust. You meant 2017.
Yeah, in 2017. But, back in the day, Russia did run this program called Trust the Plan or something like that. It had very similar connotations than Q. So people are like, oh my God, look, it's a Russian psyop. You guys fell for this Russian psyop. Blah, 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 blah. But those people never actually went and read the drops themselves. They were just relying on what the mainstream media was saying.
That's important, yes.
Because a lot of the things people think that Q said, Q never said it. What happened was a bunch of patriots, right, people that were trying to make money, took what the Q drop said, completely reconformed it to fit the narrative that they wanted it to say, and then they started making predictions, right, and saying, oh, Q said this, so this means that, and they started decoding it the way that they thought made sense. That doesn't mean Q said that. There was a lot of idiot people that took what he said, misconstrued it, absolutely, right, and made us look really, really bad.
This is what I mean. Like, people don't take the last 5 seconds to go to the search bar and search it up for yourselves.
This is what I'm saying, bro.
It's just like on the first click, you want to get all your information on the first click. Like, then you're not doing research. That's just like, dude, you're brushing only that's
really when the mainstream media completely ignored Q for the first 2 years. Right? Didn't even talk about it. Nobody even asked Trump about it. Why wouldn't you ask Trump, the president, about this shit? Right? Took all this time, but they started asking questions once Q started exposing the child trafficking networks and what they were doing with the child trafficking. That's when everyone started panicking, because before that, it was just really conspiracy theories that have been on the internet forever. They put them together, made a lot more sense. But like, really, it was just kind of that stuff, right? But once he started talking about Jeffrey Epstein, Q started dropping about Epstein almost 8 months before anybody started talking about Epstein. And then before he was arrested, before all this shit, he exposed the island, the sex trafficking, the Ukrainian stuff, how that they're involved with it. All of this shit came into, bro, I'm telling you, if people want to go check it out, qalerts.app. Go check it out. Go read him yourself. He hasn't posted in over 2 years because he doesn't need to, because all the information is already there. We have, and he would always say, you have the information. It's all here. There's about 2,000 or so drops, right? And you can look back, and now the dates are wrong because you got to think, we weren't the only ones reading the drops. Anybody could read them. They were public. So the bad guys were probably sitting there reading them too. So you can't give too much away and say exactly when this is going to happen or exactly when that was going to happen. That would allow the enemy to do what they do and counteract that, right? So really, all it really was an information operation to subvert the mainstream media narrative in order to get accurate information to the people. But most importantly, what it started a community of truthers. It started a community of great awakening. It got people together feeling comfortable sharing information, questioning narratives without being judged, without being saying you're crazy conspiracy theorists and all this stuff. And look what it started, bro. This started in 2017. Q doesn't even drop anymore. And we're still talking about the relevance of the Q drops. And you know what? And people want to say, oh, if the Q was fake, or if Q was a Russian, whatever, a controlled opposition, Trump would not be championing it. This man, Trump, retruths Q drops all the time. He's constantly saying the best is yet to come. Who said that first? Q. Okay, these are all these things. And then you got to look at the timestamps of Trump's tweets. They correlate back to old Q posts. Like, this shit is a military operation. Okay, we are watching the plan unfold right now. Everything Q said has come to be true. That's just what it is. And disinformation is actually necessary. So sometimes he would give us the wrong dates, like I said, but it was for a reason. It was to throw the other side off. And future has told the past, and Q was right.
And talking about this information, talking about real, accurate, and even the historical information about this war and military operations, I have to bring this in because I got a message and a phone call. One from somebody very close to me, and another people that have been posting and commenting on one of your posts that I did on Paranoid Radio Instagram. We need to get a quick disclosure, a quick information on the war with Russia and Ukraine, bro. Because even I, because I didn't know the history until you broke it down to me. I thought that maybe Biden giving the green light for these missiles, the new missile crisis that we have now, was almost patriotic. So, talk to me, bro. What's going on? What's wrong with
that again would be the media's narrative of the situation, right? And you got to understand who controls the media: the military-industrial complex. Who wants to go to war? The military-industrial complex.
The only ones benefiting off of it is them.
If Biden was actually a patriot and was doing this for the right reason, he would have done it 3 years ago when it actually would have made a difference in the war.
Bam.
Right. Instead, he let 500,000 Ukrainians die, and then did it when he was out the fucking door and a lame duck president, purposely to burn shit down so Trump would have a more difficult time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Making a peace deal. Okay. Nothing Joe Biden does is patriotic. He has no allegiance to America or the American people. Let's get that right. He's been raping American secrets and selling them to the foreign highest bidder for his whole fucking life. Okay. So nothing this man does is patriotic.
The only reason he didn't go to jail is because he's what? Old? According to the law,
and he forgot stuff.
He forgets shit.
How ridiculous, right?
But he's still president, and that's also on mainstream media.
We're saying it's Biden, but Biden didn't actually make this decision, right? It's the people controlling Biden, right? It's the people that, like George Soros, his son, who tweeted out, "Great, this is amazing." As soon as fucking Biden did this, said, "Yeah, all right." After having 30 meetings in the White House over the last 3 months, right? So who made that decision? So you got to look at that, right? Now, the history behind this is more important than anything else because we're not told what it really is. We're not told that America has actually been the aggressor since back in the 90s. Okay, back in the 90s, Russia made a deal to take down that wall, right? They made a deal with the United States and Ukraine that, listen, as long as America doesn't add any more countries to NATO, there won't be any problems. Now, if you go look at a map of NATO back in 1990, it was like 10 countries. Now it's like 40. It's literally every single country around Russia has joined NATO, right? And Russia said, if you do that, it's going to be a problem. And they still didn't do anything about that throughout all of these years, right? So now, back in 2007 or 2008, there was a piece of Ukraine that didn't want to be part of Ukraine anymore. They were like, listen, we're Russians. We speak Russian. We don't necessarily want to be in the Russian government, but we don't want to be in the Ukraine government. We want our own sovereignty, right? It's called the Minsk Agreement. You can go look it up. Minsk.
Look it
right?
up. Hashtag look it up. There we go.
Minsk Agreement, right? So now what this Minsk Agreement said was essentially that, listen, Ukrainian government, you cannot hurt these people, right? You cannot force them to be a part of Ukraine. Russia's not going to touch them. You're not going to touch them. They're on their own. They're Russian speaking separatists. They have their independence. It was agreed upon. It was signed. Boom, boom. Both countries signed it. Ukraine, Russia signed it, right? So a couple months later, Ukraine is already violating that Minsk Agreement. Okay, they already started killing those people because they wanted that land. Now, in the Donbass region where this is, under that is about $11 trillion worth of lithium, gold, everything. It's one of the most richest for that stuff in the world, right? So this is what this is really all about. Okay, so that's what it comes down to.
Resources.
Absolutely.
Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but you have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason, this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, Grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart's family carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or who should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
So once they started breaking that Minsk agreement, Russia was like, okay, listen, this is getting crazy, right? So Ukraine held an election. They actually chose a president that was pro-Russian, but it was duly elected. It was a more pro-Russian president because why wouldn't they be pro-Russian? They have similar ancestors.
You guys are right next to each other. Yeah.
Why would you be, you know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. That's like us going to war with a neighbor for no fucking reason, like Canada. All of a sudden, we hate Canada and we're going to fucking fight them. It's ridiculous. So they broke the Minsk agreement. Then they elected this guy, right? He was pro-Russian. Everything was good. Peace agreements were being signed with Russia. Everything was great. But the United States was like, listen, we don't like this. We want those nutrients. We want all of that shit. And we want Putin out of there. Because really, Russia is one of the only countries that don't have a Rothschild central bank. Iran, North Korea, and Russia. Interesting. Those are the 3 people they tell us to hate. Right? The 3 people that don't have fucking central banks controlled by America. Interesting. That tells you that right there. So once they made this agreement, they got this pro-Russian president. Now, right after that, the next year, 2015, America's CIA agents go in there. They start a color revolution, very similar to what we're seeing in America now. It's called the color revolution, right? Where you overthrow the regime that is in place. That's what they did to Trump, essentially, right? They overthrew him in the color revolution. So they overthrew the duly elected pro-Russian government to install a puppet government, the government that we see now. Right. So they threw him out, installed a pro-American president that was connected to the CIA.
It sounds like something we've done in the past with many other governments.
This is what we do, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So now just picture your fucking Putin this whole time. You told them, don't do this. They did it. You told them, don't do that. They did it. You told them, if they do that, we're going to do something. And they keep doing it and doing it. You keep poking the bear. Don't be surprised when that bear rips your fucking face off. Okay, so he's trying to protect his people. How would we like it if China put troops on the border of Mexico?
Impossible.
We would not, how would you be feeling in California?
Yeah.
How would you be feeling in Arizona? Would you be feeling comfortable? Would you be feeling like you could protect your people? Of course not, right? So, boom, they overthrew that guy. They put in their own guy. Now, even Putin was still not really doing nothing, right? He was like, listen, okay, this is the new law now. As long as Ukraine doesn't join NATO, we won't invade. That was it. And Zelensky was like, okay, you know what? That's the deal. Cool. Let's just keep it at that. Then Boris Johnson, the then Prime Minister of UK, went to Zelensky. Now, this is like right before the war started, right? Went to Zelensky and said, listen, you don't want no peace deals, bro. We want war. Tell your people we want war. You got to fight for what you're hyping Zelensky up, telling him we can do it. We'll have your back, all this. Then Zelensky started saying, we're going to join NATO. And then Putin was like, you know what? That's a line too far, man. I can't let NATO come to Ukraine and put militarized zones on my border. That is fucking insane, right? So I think actually Putin has been showing a very calm hand this whole time because we are the ones that are jumping over his red lines. We are the ones that keep incursion into Russia, into his territory, closer and closer.
Warmongering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the reason why do we even hate Russia? Why are we enemies with Russia? Because they are a Christian nationalist nation. Okay. And they don't subscribe to the Western elites shit.
And
right?
you gotta be careful because you got another power growing in the South. Argentina's trying to pull away from the Federal Reserve very, very soon too.
Yep. And look how good they're doing.
Yeah.
Look how good they're because they're doing that, right? And this is what we're gonna do in America. That's why they're all flipping out, right? So I just want people to understand that. Just think of it this way: knowing all the lies they told about Donald Trump, could you imagine how many they told about Putin?
100%.
Putin can't even defend himself. We don't even see Russian media because it's blocked over here. Okay, so you can't sit here and tell me that the media, they lie about everything, but they got this right. They lied about everything, but they're telling the truth this time. Come on, bro. We are being psyoped in order to accept and fund a war. That's what it is. So they hit Americans with the most shit because if we ever find out what our tax dollars are really going to, we would fucking be pissed.
Coincidentally,
we were put a stop to it.
Yeah. Coincidentally, the biggest a fight that had 60 million people globally watching it on Friday, sleight of hand, they postponed the fight to be on the November 15th on a huge 98% full moon. And while they were doing that, they also announced that the Pentagon cannot account for what? 86 or 181?
$840 billion. Almost $1 trillion. That's how much they get a year. Okay. And that was their 7th audit they failed in a row.
And then
a row.
Leading up to World War III. Here we go, bro. Hit us, dog. What's happening?
So now this dovetails right in what we were just talking about, right? So now we got kind of the history, right? It goes even deeper than that. But just know that America is the enemy here, honestly. We are the ones causing all of these problems, right? Because listen, Putin has said, I want a deal. He wanted to make a peace deal, but now Ukraine wants Crimea back, which Putin took way back in 2005. Okay, now all of a sudden they want all these old territories back. Obviously, that's not going to happen, right? So they're making it almost impossible. So now Putin said, listen, okay, the war is the war. I'm going to wait for Trump to get back, and we're going to make a peace deal once Trump gets back. So what did Biden do? Biden approves long-range missiles to be shot, American-made missiles to be shot from Ukraine into Russian territory. Now, Putin said, if you do that, that is another red line, and I'm going to hold the right to use my nuclear weapons if you do that.
Man.
So that's what Biden chooses to do 2 months before he's about to leave office, and people think that's patriotic. No, that's fucking insane.
Why get all your holiday decorations delivered through Instacart? Because maybe you only bought 2 wreaths, but you have 12 windows. Or maybe your toddler got very eager with the advent calendar. Or maybe the inflatable snowman didn't make it through the snowstorm. Or maybe the twinkle lights aren't twinkling. Whatever the reason, this season, Instacart's here for hosts and their whole holiday haul. Get decorations from the Home Depot, CVS, and more through Instacart and enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, Grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart's family carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or who should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
The man just got us into World War III, and he's handcuffing Trump in a way where it's going to force him to continue fucking funding this war, right? So now he's not going to, but they're putting it in such a position where Putin's not going to have a choice but to retaliate. Now, he already is. He's already sending more missiles into Ukraine. The whole war has been escalated now. It was kind of falling out, like the lines were where they were. There was almost an agreement where everyone could just stop fighting. Russia will keep the territory that they took. And that's it, right? But no, of course not. Zelensky wants to be this fucking, Winston Churchill, and he thinks he's fucking this great guy now, all coked up and shit. So they need that money train going, and we left Afghanistan only because they knew they were about to fund a new war in Ukraine. That's the only reason why Joe Biden actually left Afghanistan, because the military-industrial complex would have never let that happen unless they can have guaranteed another war to take its place. Because this is how these people fucking make money, bro. And we have been psyoped. Americans have been psyoped into just accepting all of this shit like it's normal. Like, listen, Ukraine, I feel bad for them. Great. They're not a part of NATO. They are not an ally. Okay, they actually took part in the fucking Russia collusion hoax in 2016. They were actually involved with that. So this is actually treason because they are an enemy of America because of what they did to subvert our democracy in 2016. So now we are funding the enemy. What's the definition of treason? Giving aid and comfort to the foreign enemy. That is what this is all about. This is actually treason. Putin is no more our enemy than any other fucking world leader. Nobody wants to smoke with America. Nobody is going to challenge us in any way. Okay, so that means that we are actually we want this. This is what the military industrial complex
pushing for
want.
war. Yeah,
right. And because this is the only way that they could possibly slow down Trump when he comes in. Now if there's a world war and bombs start dropping, can they delay Trump from taking office with the 1978
question
War
that
Powers Act?
everybody's asking? Yeah,
that's the 1978 War Powers Act. Now it has an act of war has to come from Congress, so Congress would have to agree. Thank God we won the House and the Senate, so that's very unlikely to happen, right? And now Putin's already saying, listen, I want to talk to Trump. I want to deal with Trump, right? Because he knows that's going to be a piece of, but are they going to fuck it up so much that that's not even a possibility? That shit's going to get so bad.
That's the problem.
That's where we're at now, right? Like I've always been saying, this is the most dangerous time in the world from November 5th to January 20th. We've been saying it for over a year now.
You did.
And this is where we're at, bro. So
on the way out of this conversation, you have two more points here. One is Trump's cabinet picks. Whoa, man, there's a wave. Yep.
We are seeing the team form. Now, of course, the media is losing their mind saying all these people aren't qualified. Listen, we don't want qualified people. Joe Biden had the most experienced qualified people in the history, and look where the fuck that shit got us. Okay. And Trump is doing really something smart. He's not using the FBI to do background checks on his people. He made that fucking mistake the first time. That's when they planted shit and they fucking wiretapped the phones and all this. He hired an outside private company to do the background checks. And that's also why they're fucking losing their mind. Because these people, number one, we want loyalty. Okay, that is first and foremost, most important now in this administration. Experience, listen, all these fucking these big agencies and shit, they run themselves. The bureaucracy, there's 5,000 people working. Whoever's at the top, yeah, it matters, but not in a way where, oh my God, he doesn't know what he's doing, blah, blah, blah. Like RFK, he's not a fucking doctor, but he knows about health. You know what I'm saying? He's self-taught, right? So, that's where we're at now. So Trump is literally picking the most loyal people because he's the one who's going to be calling the shots for all the agencies. That's how it's supposed to be. The president of the United States is the head executive officer of all of these shits. But in the last 100 years, it has been taken away and the bureaucracy has been given the power. The unelected people that have been there for 30 and 40 years that think they know better than the American people.
Way too long.
That's the problem. And that's what we're going to start doing because the people that he's putting, if you actually look into their background, all these people all agree that the government has gotten too big. The administrative state has gotten too big. The bureaucracy is out of control and it's anti-American. And a lot of these agencies are actually unconstitutional. Like the ATF, gotta go. You're unconstitutional. The FBI itself was actually made through an executive order, never was given an actual law. Okay, so all of these things that people don't even have no idea. Yeah, we want to burn it down, but we're going to replace it with something new. The Department of Education does not need to be there. It's only been around for 44 years. We had it before. 44 years ago, we didn't have it, and we were doing 10 times better in
10
school.
10 times
because
better.
That's where all the insanity comes from. It's the Department of Education because they withhold federal funding, right? So they say, if you don't implement this agenda, this LGBTQ agenda, we're not going to give you money from the federal government. So that has been their excuse, these public schools. Listen, we have to because the federal government's going to take our money away. It's not even up to us. So now when Trump takes that money and says, you're done, and they still want to teach it, it's going to show that it had nothing to do with that. And it's these local fucking superintendents and these people that they want to push it. So this is what we're doing now, right? And it's going to be all about information. People are saying, oh, he's going to do this. What we're going to do is get accurate information to the people about all of these agencies, accurate information about the vaccines and stuff. They're not going to cancel vaccines. What they're going to do is actual informed consent, right? The people are going to get the raw data from the government that they've been hiding. Then you can go to your doctor and say, look, this is the real data. You're still going to put that in my son?
This is what you're getting, and then that's going to get pushed back from people on the local governments to not have these mandates for as soon as you get 86 shots before your kid turns 2 in California.
The first thing they do to your fucking kid when he comes into the door is pharmaceutical intervention. They put the shit on their eyes and they give them a hepatitis B shot before they're even in this fucking realm for 20 minutes. They're already doing You're telling me my kid needs hepatitis B shot? He's a fucking baby. He's not out there getting high with needles and fucking hanging out with prostitutes. Why are you giving these kids hepatitis B? It's fucking insane, right?
Yeah.
So, and now some vaccines are needed, right? But others aren't. And this is the thing. Back when we were kids, it was 4 vaccines that were on the schedule. But what happened was they passed the liability protection, right? They let it so that pharmaceutical companies can't get sued.
There it is.
As soon as they passed
there
that
it
law
is.
in 1988, that is when
It went wild.
The mandate exploded. All of a sudden, it was 10. Now it's 20. Now
And
it's
all of a sudden
16.
you got flu, and all of a sudden the flu becomes COVID, and the flu dies.
Yeah.
Flu don't exist
And then
anymore, but only COVID.
you get both of them together. You get the double shot, and bro, and there's actually no scientific evidence that these are even safe because they never did a blind placebo.
You know, they're
trial.
trying to take cough medicine off the shelf because it would never worked. Can you believe that shit?
So fucking crazy, right? But
God,
you're still
bro.
gonna hit my. So this is what it is. So this is gonna be the time of rabid transparency because the American people are ready for the truth. RFK at HHS is going to go wild. Matt Gaetz will be confirmed. I know a lot of people are concerned about this fucking bullshit story that he slept with a 17-year-old. That story is 6 years old. The FBI looked into it and never brought charges because the person wasn't credible. Now, are we to think that the FBI is protecting Matt Gaetz? The FBI fucking hates Matt Gaetz. If they had anything on him, they would have fucking arrested him. Okay, so all of this shit, and they're scared of Matt Gaetz because Matt Gaetz has enemies on the Republican side and the Democrat side because he doesn't take PAC or lobbyist money. He is the only member of Congress that does not take PAC and lobbyist money. That means he's not controlled. That means he can call out whoever the fuck he wants, and that's why they're deathly afraid of him. He's gonna get confirmed. Bet that. If we have to do a recess appointment where we send everybody in recess, we'll do it that way. Or we're going to put the pressure on these elected officials, the government, the Republican senators, right? Because now we have a mandate. So if you don't get on board, like I've been saying, you're going to fucking get run over. You're going to get primaried. You're no longer going to be a senator because the power has been returned to the people.
And who the hell is still counting votes? What kind of difference can this make, bro, on the way out?
So I've seen a lot of fear porn about this, right? A lot that Kamala Harris is going to win, and by January, if they keep counting votes, the election is over officially. The presidential election is gone, been called, and nothing can change that. The only thing that can change is Trump's margin of victory, the popular vote. That's what they're really trying to do. They're trying to get that down below 50% so that they can say Trump actually doesn't have a mandate, and it was actually a lot closer than it looked, and all this shit. Now they're still counting votes in California. They crazy laws in California, bro. You could up to 26 days later, you can cure your ballot, right? Which is fucking crazy, bro. It's like you have 26 days to cure your ballot in California. That's why they're still counting votes. Now they might steal a House seat here or there, but they're not going to do anything more than that. We already have the House. We already have the Senate. They tried to steal a Senate seat from the Pennsylvania guy, McCormick. Remember that lady openly admitted that she was counting illegal ballots because she didn't care because the courts don't mean anything anymore.
All the time. Yep. There's footage of all these vans fucking coming in with more boxes and more boxes.
Yep. So that's dead, though. The Supreme Court just weighed in. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court, they have to stop counting the ballots. McCormick is we officially have 53 Senate seats, but they stole Arizona. They stole Wisconsin. We were supposed to have 57 seats at least, bro. They stole the Senate seat in Michigan, all this shit. So it is what it is. We beat it. Most importantly, we beat the presidency. And now we have the mandate to put the pressure on the other elected officials to do the right thing. We are going to see a completely different President Trump, one now that has a mandate from the people because we have an awakened populace and not a woke one. He has the power now, and he's not afraid to fucking use it.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, and that is Boomerang. Flash for Flashy_News1. Flash, let them know where they can find you, big dog.
Yeah, man, over on Instagram, still heavily shadow banned, Flashy_News1. And just in closing, guys, these next couple weeks, month, 60 days, whatever it is, it's going to get crazy. We're going to hear the most outlandish stories about some of Trump's picks. Oh my God, this and that. But just remember where we are. We've learned. Don't forget the information that you've consumed. You've gotten more accurate information right here on this podcast. Show us love. 100%. Share our shit.
Show us love, guys. That's true. And Laken Riley's dude, he's gone. He's gone for a lifetime. And I think the homies inside know what to do. Yep. They should know what to do. It's slow, not swift. Do it slow so that he could feel every single inch of pain. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Paranoid Radio Podcast. Make sure you check out Flash_News1 on all podcast platforms. We are here. Check out ParanoidRadio.com. Do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. That allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoyed it. Peace out.
Paranoid Radio.
¿Ya está lista tu lista de regalos? Con los ahorros de Black Friday en The Home Depot, llévate gratis una herramienta seleccionada de las mejores marcas como Ryobi o Milwaukee. Cuando compras un kit de batería seleccionado, escoge entre sierras, multiherramientas y mucho más. Termina tu lista más rápido y pasa más tiempo sorprendiendo a los tuyos. The Home Depot. Haces más. Logras más. Límite de 1 por transacción. Aplican restricciones. Lista completa de herramientas elegibles en la tienda y por internet.
The sun's shining, birds are singing, and all feels right in the world.
Until the season changes, and suddenly you lose your motivation to get out of bed. In fact, 1 in 5 people experience some form of depression, no matter the season or time of year.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all, because we want you to live your best life and be your best you all year round.
Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.